It freaking looks like these fans are about ready to go to war or something, all in their freaking battle stances or some crap. Anyways, this is the lot of everything that I brought home from the cleanup. I meant to have a video uploaded yesterday, but YouTube refused to upload it. So I'm coming here with everything completely updated. Now, what sucks is you guys won't be able to see how dirty these fans looked beforehand, because some of them were pretty disastrous. But, you know what? Let's just get on up here and take a look at everything. This is literally everything, minus one thing I brought home, and that one thing doesn't work, and it's going in the trash. It's nothing valuable. Well, I mean, it's valuable in terms of they cost $60 new, but it's just some crappy, Pedestal fan made by, like, I don't even know. I think it's Honeywell. It's not that important. I could go buy one if I really wanted one. But, yeah, so this is everything. It is actually a lot. So we might as well start with the couple Pedestal fans here. The first one is this Panasonic. Pretty cool looking. I do love this design of fan, so I had to have this one. Got really cool switches on it, too. And then you can, it's pretty cool. It says here 5-way oscillation, which means you can turn it in 5 ways here. Well, I thought you could. She must not want to move anymore. Well, she normally does, but it doesn't really matter. I like them front facing. So yeah, there's this thing. And all this, by the way, was completely free. My dad works for a trash company, and they have a cleanup every couple of years in one of the cities. And the last cleanup, I brought home the Peninsula sands, blades. The irons were there, and mounting bracket. The year before, I brought home the Panama sands, blades, the antique brass one back there. Also brought home the Saturn sands glass. And then, obviously, the flywheel is broken. So, the past few times I have had some luck, but this time, the amount of stuff I brought home was quite incredible. So, yeah, like I showed you that already. Next up, we've got this Black & Decker Silent Force Typhoon fan, I guess. I don't know what the heck it's actually called, but yeah, this is the first fan I found, and at that point I was taking everything. I'm going to be honest with you, I saw 20 fans, maybe more. Most of them were new Lasko Box fans, or, you know, anything that had the Lakewood label or any good label I saved. But all those modern Lasko things that you could still buy now went in the trash. Mainly because I just can't take everything. And I could have maybe tried to take one. Someday I might. But, yeah, I couldn't take all those. But this one, though, is pretty cool. It's got a temperature control. And then there. It might look like it's peeling, but this is just the protective layer. I didn't even know that this was a protective layer, but that's what it is. I'm just leaving it on there for as long as it'll stay. Next up, we got this older Lakewood Box Fan here. You should have seen this thing. This thing was caked in crap, but it cleaned up very well, and now it looks almost new. The top of the case, or the cabinet, kind of looks bad. There's a crack there, but overall not in bad shape. Does work. It's pretty powerful, too. Next up, we have the fan, which has now been named Pinky. It's made by Duracraft. 2 speeds, pretty cute. This thing is pretty dirty on the inside, but we cleaned it, and now it works really well. There will be demos of all these portables, by the way. Next up, we got a much later Lakewood here. This thing's got the circly around the blades, kind of like a windmill does. This one, however, does work, but the speed switch is missing the knob. When I plugged it in for the first time, it came on, so I know it worked. But then when I was screwing with it today, I tried again to turn the switch, and I managed to turn it into the off position. So it does work, just right now I need a switch before I can power it up again, because I've tried to get it, and it's being stubborn. Got this grill off a Hunter portable. I thought I could hang it on the wall, and at some point I'm sure that'll happen. I didn't get that screwdriver, that's mine. Next up, I got a few shades of glass. There were originally 3 of these, one of them broke, but glass shades break, so I was like, what the heck, I'll just take them. And there's a tulip shade under here. We all know what they look like. Next, I'll move over here. Got another one of these spotlight kits that came on this one here. It's funny, now I've got 2 of the exact same light kit. This also goes to this fan. These, however, did not. Well, see these things here? Those did not, and like 3 or 4 screws in here didn't. Everything here, and like pretty much everything here, all came to me at the cleanup, because there was this one trailer, they had a couple, like a canopy and a top shell of a motor housing of like a Kitzler or some crap. And I was like, hey, do you have the rest of this? And they were like, no, but we do have that box over there. I went and opened it, obviously. They told me that in that box there was a whole bunch of stuff. I found 4 spotlights that went to this fan here. Well, the same type of fan, but obviously this fan's in working order, and they didn't look to be in the best shape, so I was like, I'm not taking them. This fan was complete anyways. And then I found a bag full of all these capacitors, pull chains, and reverse switches. And then there's just a bunch of blade screws, motor to blade iron screws. And here's the whole bunch of random screws, including some parts which clearly, as you can see, those long things clearly came from another one of those. So yeah, basically I've got like all the parts to assemble this fan. It's kind of funny. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I do actually have like all spare screws for like this whole entire fan, which is kind of funny. I think that's the majority of what's in here, but yeah, I pulled all these out because I always need spare parts, capacitors, reverse switches, and all that crap is nice. And I needed to use one of those pull chains on this next thing I'm going to show you. This, you've seen it already. It is a GE. It is a Supreme Mark IV. It says on the top, that's how I know. And the pull chain in it was screwed up, so I replaced it with one of the ones out of that bag. Just, this wire here comes out of the reverse switch. It's black, and it was tied into this blue hot for the light, and I had no idea. Well, look, I don't know why you need to tie a reverse switch into a light, so it's just sitting undid, and we're going to talk to somebody about it, get that sorted out. I assume it works. I'm not too sure. These are all the parts, and the old pull chain. The plastic pieces, you can see, came off, so I couldn't attach the thing that makes it easier to pull. It does have all 5 of the blades. There's a bit of paint on the top. Nothing that bad, though. Yeah, it is complete. Well, I lied. It doesn't have a mounting bracket, but I don't really care about the mounting bracket. I can go buy some. I'm already going to need to buy one for the Aruba anyways, so it doesn't really make a difference. Here are the irons. Now, one thing that no longer is going to be shown in the video is how bent this fan was. Now, okay, I'm going to level with you. I'm going to be honest with you. It didn't come bent. I set it down for a sec. It toppled off. Switch housing. This thing bent. One of these irons bent up. As you can see, they all are fine now because we got really lucky. We tried to bend them back into place, and you can see there's they all look relatively the same. There's nothing too detrimental here. There's still going to be some wobble from it, I assume, but this one I think is still a bit bent up compared to the rest of them here. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, this one's still a little bit bent, but not to this one was the one that bent. It's not to disastrous point anymore, which is kind of nice. Yeah, this thing was totally wonked over to the side, but I saved it. The spotlight kit there was looking a bit funky, but it's fine. It should be okay. I lied, actually. So you can see some of these sockets. This doesn't happen from when it falls because it did not land. There's no way it could have landed on these. I don't know what the heck happened, but yeah, these sockets are going to be replaced before I use it. But this one is in much better condition than the other one because the arms actually can be positioned where, unlike that one, they're just weak and loose hanging because these parts split and now they swing a lot freer. And then I'm sure y'all noticed we got a stealth here. This is a comfort touch. It did come with the glass. The glass is just sitting up over there. Wow, now with how often these things break and it costing about $180 to get a replacement shade, which basically requires the local store near me needs to drill a whole new plate that mounts onto here. It's just a really confusing process that'll cost you a lot of money. So luckily that was fine. Now keep in mind this fan was sitting on the glass for hours and it didn't break. There was even a wardrobe sitting on top of it, and the glass still didn't crack. So, yeah, Casablanca put quality into their stuff. But it used to be covered in mud. Now, while this still may not look the greatest, it was way worse before. Obviously, there's rust. That part there, the paint came off. And, yeah, overall, it's not that bad. Now, this was Comfort Touch. However, the remote is gone. See, what happened was they brought it home from somebody else, the people who were dropping it off to be thrown. They brought it home. One of the blades, how do I say this? It broke. It just snapped. So, with one blade gone, they finally decided to pitch it at the cleanup. And one other blade cracked or got ruined under the weight. Now, once one blade is gone, the whole lot of them is gone since they balance them. They weigh them and balance them together to make it as balanced as possible. So it was already over. But yeah, so in the end, I took all the blades off at the cleanup. Now, I will say Casablanca blades are strong because these blades were trashed and coated in mud. It was they are strong. Okay, those blades are really strong because I decided to snap one of them because it was getting in my way, and it took a lot of strength. It took a lot of strength to snap. Casablanca blades are pretty dang strong. So, yeah, it's gonna need a ball and either a hang true or a basic canopy and mounting bracket. I honestly could care less about that. That I know 100% I can find. Stealth blades, worst case scenario, I just buy a new set of stealth blades off of one of the new stealths that they make. And so I'm going to wait for a bit to see if I can find a Comfort Touch somewhere. And I'm going to see if the motor works. Well, first of all, I need to see if the motor works. I'm going to bring it in to be tested now that it's not caked in dirt. If the motor works, then I'm going to spend a bit of time seeing if I can find a Comfort Touch. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and convert it. Well, then next up, I'm going to ask if I can convert it to IntelliTouch, because I've got some. This would be a W11 because it's from 93. And if there is not a way to convert it over to IntelliTouch, which could be possible, I'd assume. If there's no way to do that, then it's just going to be converted over to 3-speed on a Mink air control remote, because that's what the store does. So, as long as the motor works, this fan will end up being a functioning fan. I just don't know exactly how it's going to go. I'd love to find a Comfort Touch for it. Comfort Touches are kind of rare, so it's going to be difficult. And I know I'd be paying top dollar, but keep in mind that I'd be paying just as much maybe to convert it over. I mean, the conversion kit's like $160, and a Comfort Touch I could see people selling for $150 all the way to $200, maybe a little more. So I don't know. Either way, I'd be spending money on it. So it really depends on what I find for this fan. And these are just some pull chains that came with the Supreme. And I actually think this is about it. I guess I can tell you about a few other things I saw. I did see a Hampton Bay Quick Connect, or a Quick Connect looking thing. It had the SMC tag on it, so it could have been just an SMC. It had an integrated light, so that makes me think it could have been its own model from SMC. However, it used a fluorescent bulb, and it was crap. I didn't want to deal with it. The glass was a little bit chipped or cracked somewhere because it was dropped. And the blades were crap. I could have totally taken this spare set and thrown it on there. But it wasn't worth spending my time on a fan that's that cheap. Like, this is worth it. It's a Stealth, for goodness sake. But for that, it wasn't worth it. This fan would be worth putting money into, because this is only the second Supreme Mark IV I've seen. There's the one that Cole over at Vintage Fans and More has, and this is the other one. I tried looking up Supreme Mark IV and Supreme Ceiling Fan, and his was the only other one I could find. So these were worth it, but the others weren't. And like I said, I saw a bunch of Lasko Box Fans, or no Galaxies. They all said Lasko on them. And I also saw one of them Lasko 5-blade black and silver pedestal fan looking things. it was separated, like the head was separated from the stand. I could have fixed it, but it's like, I can once again go buy one of those brand new. I'm not going to waste my time on something like that. I went for this because I thought it could be a good utility fan, and this because it was actually vintage, and those because they're Lakewoods, and then ceiling fans are always a yes, except for that quick connect that just wasn't worth my time. But yeah, so that is the lot of everything that I brought home from the cleanup here. These were all completely filthy, every single one of them. Every single one of them got totally taken apart and cleaned today. Basically, I got up at like 8:30. Well, actually, no, I got up at 8. I worked from 8:30 to... And I quit working, I want to say, like, a half an hour ago. So I've been working all day. And right now, by the way, it is 5:50. So I have definitely done the whole working 9 to 5 thing today. Oh my gosh. How could I forget the final update? I did go to the fan store yesterday to, well, mainly I needed to drop off the Aruba. Oh, I haven't mentioned that either. So yeah, the Aruba, as we all know, its flywheel was broken. So I brought it over there. They're going to take a look at it, see if they've got any flywheels in stock they can put on it. Otherwise, they're going to try to see if they can find something for it. And I've left it there. It's in good hands. They've repaired hundreds, maybe thousands of fans. So I've got trust. I've been going to this store for years. And I also got the rest of the screws for the north wind to go ahead and put it up. And they were the ones who are going to be taking a look at the stealth. But yeah, so it does work. I'll just turn it on low speed here. I do like the look of it. It's lighter than the designer. So the box can support this. This fan is like 11 pounds. So it's not really that heavy. It's fairly silent. I'll get it close here. You can hardly hear anything. It's a pretty good fan, and it's not a white fan, which I kind of like. It's a different color to everything else. Now, what I'd love to do is round this off right here with something brass. I don't really know. It all depends on what fan I decide to permanently leave. I also don't know if I mentioned this on video, but this fan, one of its screws was missing to attach the irons to the motor. So when I was at Fleet Farm today, I went ahead and picked up some screws and I tested them. They work great. So now this one is complete. Well, not totally, because this light kit is really weird. Not too sure what on earth they did, but they seem to have like hot wired it and just totally disabled the pull chain. So I'm gonna have to take a look at it. But yeah, they like disabled the pull chain or something for some reason. So I do have the rest of this thing somewhere. Here's the bottom part. Now this pull chain broke, so I'm gonna have to try to get that out of there. That's fun. These are the arms for the turn of the century. This is the stealth glass, and then underneath there's really nothing else interesting or nothing that I brought home. But today has just been today and yesterday have been a real mess of a day. But I'm happy to say that this is what I got out of it. Whole lot of fans, and I've been rambling on for a while. I'm not too sure if this is going to upload, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this video off right now. Thank you guys for watching. I will have demos of all these portables coming up, and as soon as I get that working, there'll be a demo for that. But yeah, I guess I'll see you later. So yeah, goodbye.